Hogwarts Legacy is getting multiplayer, and we even have our very first look at some gameplay which looks a ton of fun. And nope, I'm not just talking about PC users having full access, because it does seem very likely that it will be available to console players, as there has been some discussions, but there would actually be a catch to it, and of course it is unofficially being done. Now the crazy part of it all is just how easy it has been to implement it, and if it was so easy, why was it not done to begin with? That is a question that pretty much almost every single person is asking right now. So a well-known modder who goes by the name of Yamashi, who actually helped create the Skyrim Together mod that allowed you to go online questing with your friends, announced a new Hogwarts Legacy mod which is called Hogwarp. Now the announcement happened on their Patreon, and he said that Hogwarp has been developed quickly through the technology of Unreal Engine, which actually made this project far easier than Skyrim Together. Now, in his exact words, he said the following: "Reverse engineering Unreal Engine games is an order of magnitude easier than custom engines such as Bethesda's Creation Kit. Having experience with networking and having already developed our tools to reverse engineer and create mods really helps a lot." Now this is where things get interesting, as Patreon supporters who fund Yamashi at a tier of $21 a month or higher are actually incentivized through access to the Hogwarts test builds, and those who contribute $10.50 a month or higher will get early access. However, it'll actually eventually be available for free. Now he shared, once we get a version everyone is happy about, we will release it publicly and make it open source. Now he's aiming to have a Patreon test build ready this week and a full release early March. Now he's not guaranteeing this timeline by any means, but that does say quite a lot. Now the mod is in very early stages, and at this moment in time is only available for PC players, but anticipating the success and with it being open source etc, there is no doubt it would be pushed to consoles, and there has been a ton of discussions within the modern community of actually doing so, except there would actually be a catch, and that catch would be your console needs to be chipped. And let's be honest, that's a very big leap to make, but I guess it really boils down to just how good this mod actually looks. Now as I say, we even have some gameplay, though it's in early stages, and it just looks incredible, and it's almost a friendly reminder on just how much players are truly missing. Now you can find a link to the full video in the description below. Now with this news and the news that was released yesterday regarding the DLC, a lot of questions are going around. Now to bring you up to speed, it was confirmed that at this moment in time, Hogwarts Legacy has no plans for additional content, aka DLC. Now what's important to take into account is, though they have none planned at this moment in time, it would be incredibly odd for them just to abandon the game, as from a business standpoint the potential is crazy for them and their publishers. Now I truly believe this is the situation and what I can see happening in the very near future. Right now their key focus is on stabilizing the game and making sure that all platforms can be bug-free and basically provide the smoothest experience possible. Now with the multiplayer mod, I'd say it would be speculated as a dummy run, though they can already see the demand. Now what I mean by that is two things. Number one, they'll watch to see what the multiplayer actually includes and what fans care for the most, and most importantly, what issues players experience. Now that alone is a free testing method almost for them to actually get a gist of everything. Now assuming the demand is there and the player base is consistent, then number two, they'll work on their own version that'll actually come in a paid format, aka additional content, and the only reason that will happen is simply because WB Games have a clear sense of ROI, because it actually serves two purposes, the game as a whole right now at this moment. So for example, the game works great for new players wanting to live their dream of a so to say Harry Potter game and experiencing how it is to be a wizard, and that's it, that's as far as it goes. And then there's a ton of people out there that have also never played video games that were just drawn into this game because of that. Now on the flip side, it's about finding the balance. So okay, how many people are playing once they've completed the game, and who are the more casual players or players that are just playing incredibly consistent, and what does that number look like? So that's my take on the situation, though I could be entirely wrong, but either way, I'm keen to know your thoughts, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, Lumos should stay activated while casting Revelio or climbing up objects, something a lot of people have brought to light more recently that needs to be tweaked. Now, somebody mentioned, I just find it unnecessary to have to recast the spell Lumos so often, especially if I'm looking for treasure in the dark or in the Forbidden Forest at night. It gets a little tedious. Maybe even allow us to keep Lumos activated during combat as well. What are your thoughts? Now, a good point that was made that would actually work is that it should stay on until you hit the Lumos button again to cast Nox. But again, I'm eager to know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. As I say, the game is in a very interesting position right now, and there's so much controversy going around regarding the DLC content now. And what I mean by that is, of course, with that announcement made the other day and where we stand right now, the game has literally, for the most part, been around a week and a bit, right? So there is tons of stabilization issues which they are trying to fix. Now, of course, it's bad news as a whole that they did actually say, okay, well, we don't have any plans for DLC content, but I guess when you look at the bigger picture, does any game really have DLC plans until they fix the bugs and glitches in a video game? Also worth noting, which now would make a lot of sense, and is actually a very, very bizarre sort of, statement, is that the developers who done this game, their last big game was actually Cars. So they went from Cars to making a very, very highly anticipated game, being Hogwarts Legacy, and trying to, of course, meet that fan demand, which they done an exceptional job of. So when you actually put all of those pieces of the puzzle together, it kind of makes sense that there is no DLC pre-planned, so to say. But the only concern is this where we stop, and are the modders going to take over? And if so, it's still going to limit the players. And what I mean by that is, even though sure, we can get the modded multiplayer version on our consoles, assuming your console is chipped, it's still going to, of course, limit how many people can go ahead and play it, because that then boils down to the decision of, well, do you want your console to be chipped or not? And again, I say that's a pretty big deal to get your console chipped, because in the long run, it might not work out so well. So it's very much a fine line on, okay, is the modding community going to give this game further life, but is it only going to be exclusive to the player base, or will they see what the modding community is doing and ultimately just take that limelight and create it themselves and roll it out in a paid format? So leave your theories and your opinions on all of this in the comment section below. I'm very, very eager to know. But we also got the new PlayStation 5 update, and fans have spoken on various things they want, and especially that 15-second rule that got a lot of people quite surprised. So check out the video that you see on screen right now.